What are you and who are you doing? What are you? Who are you, my dear?
Oh, how silly of me. I'm Snow White.
Snow White, the princess?
Yes.
You know, when you get the right voice and you animate to it and develop a character, you can't imagine any other voice being with that. It'd be like changing your voice, your mind. It makes a different personality out of you.
Now, don't tell me who you are. Let me guess.
Walt really wanted to get distinctive characters, and working in the world of vaudeville, he was able to bring in many actors who had specialties like sneezing or a funny laugh, and all of these added to the characters.
But he also was interested in a fairy tale quality, particularly in the voice of Snow White herself, and he kept searching for that voice quite a bit.
Oh, you can talk! I'm so glad!
Adriana Caselotti was a young singer and had opera training. Her father was a music teacher in Hollywood, and she auditioned for the part along with about 100 other actresses, and she seemed to have that fairy tale quality, that strange, otherworldly quality that Walt Disney wanted for the character of Snow White.
My father was a singing teacher here in Los Angeles, and one day one of the Walt Disney representatives called his studio and asked if he knew of a little girl who could sing and speak like a child. And I was listening in on the extension phone upstairs, and I said, "Papa, how about me?"
Why, I believe you're lost. Oh, please don't cry.
The voice of Snow White is a beautiful, lovely, innocent young girl's voice that's so distinctive. You don't hear that voice in any other film, but it's so perfect and so right for the role that you hear her speak and you know that that's Snow White.
Lucille Luverne was a very well-known stage actress, and she also did a number of early films, and she had a wonderful stage actress's voice.
She had appeared in a picture that was released in '35, Tale of Two Cities, and she played this character called The Vengeance. And she had this, and she was a crone, and she had the hair. I would bet money that he saw this and heard this and thought, bring her around for an audition.
She was chosen to do the Queen.
Snow White lies dead in the forest.
She was very regal, and her voice had a lot of depth and warmth in it. And then she said that she could do the voice of the witch as well.
A special sort of death for one so fair.
And she proved it when she took her teeth out and proceeded to sound and cackle just like the Wicked Witch, and got that job as well. The voice of the prince was Harry Stockwell, who was the father of the actor Dean Stockwell.
I have but one song.
He was very, very particular, as well he should be, and used so many radio actors, stage actors, film actors to play the various dwarves, and he wanted to have a different approach, of course, for each one of them. He didn't want it to be one of those things where you heard one, was that sneezy or was that bad? They each were very easily identified.
Chimney smoking.
Something's in there.
Maybe a ghost or a goblin.
A demon or a dragon.
Billy Gilbert, of course, is sneezy, and that was a Billy Gilbert specialty. And just about every film he appeared in, they would find an excuse for Billy Gilbert to do his famous sneeze. And I think when he auditioned for Walt, he walked into his office and sneezed about 5 times, and Walt said, "You've got the job." The radio actor Otis Harlan was the voice of Happy, and he had a bubbly quality to his voice that was perfect for the character.
Happy, ma'am. That's me.
And Bashful's voice was done by an actor named Scotty Matraw.
Oh, gosh.
Well, Roy Atwell, who did the voice of Doc, the leader of the group, they chose that actor because he was famous for his sort of spoonerisms and the way he made mistakes with the way he would say things. He would intend one thing and say another, and so that befuddled quality was in the actor already, and so it seemed to fit very well with the pompous, quotes, leader of the Dwarfs, Doc.
Can you make dapple dumplings? Lumple dumplings? Apple dumplings. Yes, crapple dumpkins.
One of the storymen, Pinto Colvig, did 2 voices on the film. One of them was Grumpy.
Oh, shut up and tell her to get out.
And and sleepy.
Oh, yes.
Pento Colvig was the voice of Goofy, and oftentimes when he did voices at the studio, they all sound like Goofy. But in Grumpy's case, he did quite a different voice than the one he was usually famous for.
This is Dopey. He don't talk none.
Even though Dopey doesn't speak, they did use an actor named Eddie Collins to help with the performance, to give ideas to the animators about how the performance should look and move and react. Eddie Collins was a burlesque or vaudeville performer here in Hollywood, and one of the animators saw him and brought him to the attention of Walt, and so they thought, gee, he'd be great. We'll sort of look at how he moves. He moved in a very funny, comic way. And I understand that he also did some of the voice effects for Dopey, even though he didn't speak.
Animation is unique in a certain sense in that there are two performances kind of glued together and married, the animator's performance and the actor's voice performance. And it's really fun to watch how they interact on each other, and the animator adds something to the character voice, and the character voice gives the animator ideas that he might not have had otherwise.